The sad reality of the decision that Nathi Tetwa took on Monday when he sent his wife a message that left her very much in a panic mode. We don't have the exact context or the exact wording of the message, but the message alluded to the fact that he was going to end his existence on Earth. We've been listening to multiple reports from the reporter in France because nobody else is there. It seems like there's only one reporter working in this case, and it is what it is. But from what he has gathered, is that Nathi Tetwa's wife's brother was very close to Nathi Tetwa himself, and he too also got that text message. Now here is what's going on. He might have taken the decision because of whatever was troubling him, that nobody else seems to be able to come forward to say that this was the thing that was bothering. This is the mental health struggles that we had. All that is coming forward is that at a previous event, he was having a great time. He even danced the Zulu dance. He was in high spirits. And during the week, literally on the 1st of October, 2025, there was going to be an event at the embassy, which was designed to have the French president agree to be a part of, to fund the global health and dondonis, okay? But when you listen to all these accounts, what you hear is how he has left a huge void, how he has left so many questions unanswered. And this becomes unfair to the family. Now, here's another thing that I find quite peculiar. So we know that on Monday, he went missing. This is the ambassador to France, okay? It's not a South African citizen living in France. No, it is the actual ambassador to France. Monday, he went missing. On Tuesday, he was found at 11:30 a.m. in a courtyard at the Hyatt Regency Hotel, Paris Etoile, okay? He was found in the courtyard. Fortunately, I would have to say at this point, although it's weird for me, that the security guard was just happened to do his rounds and that's when he found him. Why is this an abandoned part of the hotel? Why does nobody go to that section of the hotel until 11:30 the next day? Here's what's really troubling for me. So ever since the incident was discovered, which was on Tuesday at 11:30 a.m., nobody, absolutely nobody from the South African Police Services got on a plane to join the investigations that have been solely done. Okay, they've been solely done up until now, up until tomorrow. I'm not saying that the French are not doing a good investigation. I'm just saying who's supervising them. Because think about it, okay? Do the French want the news to go out that maybe there was some kind of foul play and the foul play happened to an ambassador in France? That's going to send out a lot of panic to the ambassador community over there in France. The UN is also going to send letters to the French and say, "Oh, what's going on over there?" It's just going to cause a lot of international turmoil for France. Is France covering something up? Well, they've had a lot of time to do so. They have actually had more than enough time to do so because guess when the South African services is arriving? Saturday night. By the time you watch this video, it will be tonight. That's when they arrive. They'll probably be jet lagged, they'll go to their hotels, they'll sleep, and then they will join the investigation maybe on Sunday, maybe on Monday. My question to you is, why did it take all these days to assemble a team of 5 members to go to Paris and assist the investigation? Now, those of you who watch the Senzo Meyiwa trial, you do know that Mangena, the ballistic expert, has been called to the DRC, I want to say, when there was a similar situation, but that situation involved a pew, 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 pew firearm, right? It involved a firearm, and the person used the firearm to end their chapter. So because they used a firearm, Mr. Ballistics had to go. Unfortunately, there's no ballistics on this team because there's no ballistic engagement involved. I just still think it's puzzling. What were they waiting for? Let me give you another example. Over there in the US, most recently, September 10 to be exact, Charlie Kirk someone decided to end his chapter. So the 10th for Charlie Kirk, that's the day that the incident happened. The 11th, the very next day, his body was on a plane. Do you want me to say that again? Yes, it was not being repatriated back to another country, but his body was on Air Force Two back to Arizona within a day. Nathi Mthethwa's body lies in a government morgue right now. And guess what? Nobody has seen his body. I've seen all your comments. I got so many comments, guys. Hundreds of comments that are saying, where's the video evidence? Where's the body? Where is the proof? Nathi Mthethwa's wife hasn't seen his body. Nathi Mthethwa's brother-in-law, Dr. Buthelezi, hasn't seen the body.
But I think I need to just to inform South Africans as to what is happening at the site now. And I know they are really waiting to hear when is the body of Ambassador Mthethwa coming home. The answer is we don't know, because that becomes a function of when they finish the autopsy, and then it's only then that the authorities will release the body to us.
What's the outlook for the next several days here?
You remember the fact that we're not able to go in doesn't mean that the authorities are not continuing their work. So they are continuing with the work. The timeframes that they gave us are still there, because the fact that we're not able to go in, it doesn't mean that it's stopping their processes.
We are hearing what the investigators are saying, we are listening, but the fact of us accepting, I think, is a little bit premature. Whether she's prepared to accept or not accept, it's more of an emotional thing. If you you look at it, science is one thing, but emotional things on these things, accepting it, not accepting, I think it's more emotional. So, but the authorities are saying they think that latest by Tuesday, they think they would have done their work, and it's only then that they'll be able to release the body to us. And then from there, it's a question of us having to then to arrange the logistics of taking the body of our brother, our father, our son, our auntie back home.
So if you like, as I said, they had said the latest that they think they'll be done with their autopsy, their processes, it's Monday, Tuesday, right? So that's what so that still stands, right? So that doesn't change. But then for us, I think tomorrow, because it was more of some technicalities that we can't go in the morgue without the police and so on. There's something that the police must do before they were able to go in. You understand? So the embassy staff is taking care of that. So they've taken us that we go there and we do that. So embassy staff is dealing with this. Remember, they've never done this thing before. You see, they said to me when we started, they said, look, Buthelezi, we've not done this. It has never happened, let alone where the ambassador passes on. It's even more complicated, let alone the way that the ambassador the ambassador passed on, right? So again, say it complicates everything we've never done, and I think we really understand that the hitches and the headlines that we got today is because we're dealing with this for the first time type of a thing. Yeah.
In fact, I commend him for getting on the next plane out of South Africa and arriving on Wednesday. While I don't know what South African police services were still doing, not also catching flights as well to be right there inside Phakathi within this investigation. Allegedly, the crime scene is closed. But who is supervising the crime scene? Who? Using an excuse that this has never happened before in an embassy is just an excuse. I'm not speaking for Nathi Mthethwa. I don't know why he ended his chapter. But I think it's highly unfair, especially for the surviving family members. They have two issues that they will have to face. One, the sudden loss of a family member. And then two, the constant questions of why. The same questions that we are asking ourselves. The family has not had a chance to see his unalived body. It gets worse. They also do not have the death certificate because they're still conducting the autopsy and the investigation done. France? Why is it taking so long? Not that I know how long an autopsy should take, if I might add, but I just think it is quite peculiar that the family hasn't had a chance to be able to see his body. I think it's absolutely brutal for the family, of course. And by family, I'm not even talking about the family back home. I'm talking about his wife who's there inside Parati within France. The sad part about it is he actually proposed to her in France. They had their wedding. It was French themed, and now he has altered memories of France for her to include his sudden end of life. Just so many unanswered questions. There was supposed to be an event at the embassy on the 1st of October. Obviously, the event didn't proceed, it's been cancelled. There was supposed to be 150 guests there, and there was supposed to be money raised. So that has changed everything. Listening to Nathi Mthethwa's brother-in-law, his wife's brother, be so emotional in the interviews while trying to control himself is actually quite devastating to watch. It's heartbreaking.
There's this thing I'm going, because that has happened in other times when we go through some challenges, we always talk about them. So I'm saying it came to me as a complete surprise, and I didn't want to accept it when Peter said it. Yeah.
Regardless of all the controversies surrounding him, including inside the Madlanga Commission, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I don't think what Mkhwanazi said is that deep. That someone would decide to open a window and exit a building through the window.
So the corruption that is there, it's not. So we discussed that with that. So we came to the conclusion, this is a non-issue, right? If we are called, let the commission be your guest, you can always go there and put your position.
Something is off. And we don't have South African services on the lead yet. That is the irony of it all. Well, then again, if you remember on the 6th of July 2025, General Mkhwanazi gave his press briefing. The president didn't even address the nation for an entire week. Business as usual, acted as if there wasn't a crisis. Continued about his day. My deepest condolences to the Mthethwa and Buthelezi families. This is atrocious. This is very unfair. And I hope they get the answers and peace that they deserve.